By now, we have a lot of evidence of bad planning or no planning at all in our region. Bad planning, no planning, we all have experiences in our region. We have the floods, we have the traffic jams, we have the land conflicts, we have insecurity, particularly in the urban areas. All this and more are results of the population increase and lack of planning to address the issues associated therewith. However, I want to speak more of the positive side of fiscal planning and urban development in line with the intention of the World Town Planning Day, which is a celebration of the accomplishments of planners and their contributions to communities, so that we can learn from those. In Uganda, between 2007 and 2009, our towns, from the town boards, the town councils and municipalities, and to the only city by that time then, Kampala, were all planned. And a total of 70 towns were planned, while about 30 towns had running plans. This has ensured some order in some of our urban areas. The plan presents the need for land use planning in geographical details. We're talking of almost up to the rural areas. For example, the population projection, and this is in relation to the population. Now, I had my colleague here lamenting that Kenya is urbanizing at the rate of 4.5, is it 5? 4.5 per year. Now in Uganda, we're doing better. 5.2 of our people every year are going to the urban areas. And when you contrast that with the population increase rate of Uganda, which is 3.5%, it means that we produce 3.5 new people in Uganda, but the ones going to the town are 5. So we have to borrow from the stock in the village. That's the danger. And whom are you borrowing? The young people. The young, ambitious people with high expectations. Those are the people who are going to the rural areas. And if you don't satisfy those ambitions, your guess of what will happen is as good as mine.
Kenya has changed. Kenya is not the same again. The country that we took over in 1963 from those colonial masters, there were no tarmac roads, there were no estates, there were no water projects, there were no schools and universities. But today we have a wonderful country, courtesy of the vision and the work of planners. That is the message from the President. I wish to state that Kenya aspires to acquire a middle income, and I think already we got the rating by the World Bank a few weeks ago, that Kenya now is a low middle income economy. We've come from poor and third world countries to now low middle income economy. And this status offers great aspirations for Kenyans. Quality of life as envisaged in the Vision 2030. Attainment of this noble aspiration is, however, hinged on our country's ability to create sustainable development, employment, and the livelihood of our people. And labor being a factor of production, as the perspective that we have, we cannot manage all the three other resources, capital, machinery, without manpower. And as we undertake our planning and changing the course and face of our country, we must embrace planning, human resource planning. And that is why 60% of our resources goes to education, skilling, reskilling, and upskilling of our people. We can use money, machinery, and all other natural resources that God gave us, but without the attendant and necessary human resource, all this will be a waste. And therefore, I would appeal to the planners in this room that we have a duty. We have a duty to plan for our children, and not just our children, but our children's children. As planners, it is important to identify the nexus between your profession and overall economic growth of our economy. While economic growth is important, however, the desire for growth has to be related to employment creation, economic stability, sustainability of investments, raising the quality of life, and other social objectives. Analyzing the role of physical and land use planning is therefore vital in understanding how planning can help to achieve a balanced development. Generally speaking, physical planning plays a role of translating socio-economy and other policies into spatial and physical forms. In the course of your work, it is important for physical planners to take interest in urban unemployment and poverty. And I think Honorable Minister did from Uganda already mentioned the growth rate in Kenya. I don't know what's happening. As we say, we are not competing. Actually, we are lacking behind. The young men in this room, what's happening? Kenya's population growth rate is 2.3% as at last year. Tanzania, our brothers, ndugu zetu kutoka Tanzania, their growth rate is 2.9%. And Uganda, small in size, smallest among the three, its growth rate is 3.3% per year. The world is 1.1%. 83 million come into the world every year. 83 million people. Uganda is leading on population growth rate. Sijui kama, is it bananas or something that they eat? Maybe we need to start eating bananas in this country. Our urban plans must no longer be mere beautiful drawings on paper gathering dust in drawers as facade developments are constructed, but rather they must be the binding and ever-enforced designs for cities and towns we all deserve to live in. There is no reason why our towns and cities should not be as beautiful, clean, orderly, and vibrant as those we admire in other parts of the world, like Singapore. Kenyans yearn to live and work in world-class metropolitan areas that are set the gold standard against which others are measured. Ladies and gentlemen, as we move forward, we need holistic, integrated, and well-resourced physical and land use planning to guide coordinated sectoral, spatial, and economic development planning. We must collaborate because there is need to accelerate progress. If we had to achieve economic resilience, manage emerging risks and vulnerabilities in urban areas, and create the fair, healthy, and prosperous communities, we must work together. In this context, you can count on the government's unflinching support as you, the planners, partner with other stakeholders in developing well-planned, sustainable, resilient, and inclusive human settlements in Kenya.
So you need to understand as planners that your job is cut out for you. You have a very difficult responsibility because you still need to convince others that planning is important. So I like to just say that my doors are open to facilitate for you, and I think even as a chairman of the National Land Commission has quite clearly captured that we need to bring back the issue of financing the planning docket. But even you counties, you need to make sure that you have got more planners. Hire them. There's so many of them qualified. And some of these agendas, and I have nothing wrong with engineers, they also work for me. But let's allow planners to drive some of this initiative.